So I remember a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Medicare, who is an internet celebrity, something of an internet celebrity, he's more of an enigma than anything else. But he did a stream and he was talking. There was a fellow on there called Mundane Matt, and he was getting exposed for doing some rather unscrupulous things on streams, such as reporting people and getting their streams shut down. And one of the things that was talked about during this stream was his involvement with an app on the that used to be on the iPhones and Androids called Candid. So this app, it was marketed as as a free speech app or something, but basically it was made famous mostly by the internet atheist community, like the quote unquote skeptics. And there was some really big name people who were involved with it. Armored Skeptic, Mundane Matt, of course, Amazing Atheist, Chew on Head. There was Black Pigeon Speaks, Bearing, Some Black Guy. Those were some of the big names involved with it. Now, Bearing, he kind of redeemed himself. He realized that this was a very strange app for reasons I will, we'll talk about shortly. But basically, this application over here, it was basically used to train an AI that would go and find what it considers offensive speech,
hate speech, all that kind of stuff.
And it was marketed to the skeptic community, who was supposedly anti-SJW, these sort of they didn't really care for Twitter. I know Sargon of Akkad's banned on there. They're generally they're generally skeptical about applications like this, but it's kind of ironic that you see that they're all liking this. And the CEO of the company now, a spoiler alert, the company ended up getting sold. I believe it was last year, I think. This was a relatively old thing, but the only reason I bring this up is you're starting to go, and I'm just starting to go and realize how big this was. And the person who owned the app, it was, what was her name? Was it Bindu?
Yeah, it's right up here. It's Bindu Reddy. Oh. And she was the CEO of Candid, and she was the one that was in contact with all these people, getting them to make videos for Candid, making ads for Candid, defending Candid. All these things were basically her doing. I guess some other people working for her. And she wanted, Harmful Opinions to do a video on Candid, basically showing for it. And she wanted to pay people after Harmful Opinions kind of said, no, I don't want to do this. She was trying to pay people to actually track Harmful Opinions online activity related to this and anything else he was saying. So she's trying to control the message, trying to control the opposition. And Harmful Opinions was one of the big people to speak out against it. And if you watch Mr. Medicare or Harmful Opinions or all these people, they're talking about it, because this is a big controversy in the skeptic community. And one of the people that we were talking about, Chew on the Head, she's not a Trump supporter or some right winger. I think she's kind of center left, I'd say. She doesn't like these SJWs. And she said that in a video, because she made a video about Candid advertising for it and showing for it. She said, afterwards, that I was only in a contract once for it, but now I'm off the contract. But I'm going to defend Candid right now. She does this whole defense of it. She says she was off contract. She never says the video is sponsored, but she did put in the description saying it was sponsored. That to me is still a little deceptive, because you're supposed to kind of say it in the video. Most of these people do, or at least they make it very obvious. This one made very obvious that she's just showing for it, even though she said it's a one-time deal, when it's not, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. And what was it? The Amazing Atheist. He then there was screenshots that were showed on the, I believe it was Harmful Opinions, one of his podcasts or streams or videos. And basically Amazing Atheist was out and out threatening Harmful Opinions, saying he hoped that Harmful Opinions got harmed. Yeah. And, this, the Amazing Atheist used to be a really big YouTube celebrity back, a couple years ago. And I just know he and Bananas, there was some involvement with some fruits with him. But basically, he ended up I have no respect for him anymore after that. And and then the person, the Bindu Reddy, she was she ended up having a meltdown on Bearing's stream. And she was Harmful Opinions is God. She said that 4 times. She started flipping out. And I know last year, they ended up selling the app. It ended up being bought by Uber, the car company. And it was also like like she ended up working for Amazon. And it's funny too, because like a lot of the people who worked for this app, they were involved with Google. Now Google, just to let everyone know in case you've been out of the loop, they're involved with a lot of this like AI technology. They're like very, very powerful corporation out there, and it's kind of strange that you see all these people in a free speech app. Like Google is far from free speech. Like they're just opening up. They're talking like opening up things in China since they censor their search results. There's been a lot of talk about them, like trying to go and down, like make Trump supporters and whatnot like go down on the YouTube searches. And it's just strange. You see all these like Silicon Valley elites like investing in this app, and then you also see the skeptic community like being heavily involved. Because like I remember like a couple years ago when this app like really started taking off, I saw advertisements for it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the only big one he didn't talk about, strangely enough, was like Sargon of Akkad, which that's really strange that he wouldn't mention anything about this application. Because it was like a really hot topic, and this should have been something that he would have talked about. This is like right up his alley, but he never spoke about it until him and Harmful Opinions were on a stream. And then like I was watching another one of his streams, and like apparently like afterwards, Sargon was saying not to go and like keep digging into this, which is really strange. And I know that like Harmful, he's been like attacked by multiple other people like online. Was a Mundane Matt like attacked Amazing Atheists, like a bunch of these other people made videos about him, and then I think he got his channel hacked, and then all his videos were deleted. That's what I was told. Like that's what he's claiming to be, and I wouldn't be surprised. And they've had people out there who were like, I believe there was like evidence that they were telling him to, like they're trying to go and get his stream, like, or they're trying to go and like do attack videos. They're paying people to go and do attack videos on that.
Yeah.
That's really messed up. And then like it's funny too, because like why would Uber want this application? That's where a lot of people like no one's really talked about this. Now I know that Bindu Reddy, she went to Amazon, but Uber bought this app, and it's kind of funny because I believe it was a month or two after they got bought out by Uber. You saw like what happened with the first Charlottesville. And like Uber started banning people from that. And like, with that AI technology, because this is what the whole thing was about. It was basically training AI technology to stomp out these like, the skeptic community who's been, they're usually called the people they don't like SJWs.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's very hard when you train an AI, you could go and stamp out these like people who are against SJWs. And they could have very well used that to go and target people at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. And then another thing too, I was just thinking about this. It's kind of funny because I saw things in magazines that Uber may start discriminating against drivers against passengers who are intoxicated. Now, I think that with this strong AI technology, it won't be very difficult for people to for them to go and modify the application so that you could go and catch these people who are like drunk, and that's very well what could be used for. But also, since Bindu Reddy is going on to Amazon, I think that she could have like used her knowledge over there to go and create another app to do basically the same thing on Twitch, because that's an Amazon web service. And I know like on Twitch, they're starting to like really crack down on offensive speech on there. So I think that's very well what they've been doing. Like these skeptic communities who they go yell every day and every night, oh, Twitter's terrible, YouTube censorship's terrible. I think that they're building their own demise on this sort of thing. They're attacking. They created this like AI bot. Now that's out there, they can't do anything about it. 'Cause and I've been told like the features of it, like if you would go and you downvote things that were bad, you get points, and if you upvoted things that were good, so it would go and get trust in you. And they're starting to go and unveil that on YouTube and Facebook right now, is using that technology, which will basically mean you'll get like these sort of trusted flaggers. And they've been like really creating the ultimate like weapon of their demise with this sort of program.
Yeah. And what shocks me is that all these big skeptic people, Mundane Mac, Amazing Atheist, Shoe on Head, Black Pigeon Speaks, were all shilling for it. They were all, shilling for it. And, some were saying the Amazing Atheist was getting between $10,000 and $20,000, which is a lot of money. But at the same time, I wonder if I'm going to assume these people knew that there was a bot and that there was an AI that would, censor hate speech, censor offensive content, censor trolls, all that stuff. I'm going to assume they knew about it because this was public knowledge. There are videos with the CEO, Bindu Reddy, talking about it. This stuff is publicly known. Either they were told not to say these things about it because they were deliberately leaving all that out. All their videos didn't talk about. They were either deliberately leaving it out or they didn't know it was there. Now, I'm pretty skeptical that they didn't know it was there because of the fact that this was public information. So that would be something we need to get the bottom of. And we've seen that the CEO is definitely threatening people that try to go after her and all that, which I can slightly understand. You don't want to be taken down. You don't want your company to suffer. But when you're doing something unethical and you're getting people to shill and deceive their audience, you're going to have to expect that to come at you. That's going to happen. And it's too coincidental that they wouldn't mention this bot or this AI to their audience because they know their audiences wouldn't like this. They know that because their audience is the skeptic community of people that hate SJWs, that hate anti-free speech, that hate the YouTube algorithms that shadow ban, they hate the Twitter algorithms that shadow ban. It's a bad situation for these people. Like, their reputation's just burnt from this.
Well, yeah, like I don't even know why they get involved with it. Like, I guess the only reason is because money. Like, and I was told that like there was a probably mid-tier YouTuber. I think this was on one of the streams. He was saying he got like $500 for his participation in it, and it's just like, really, are you gonna go and like sell your soul for a measly like $500? And people have been speculating that Amazing Atheist got like 10 or 20 grand, but still, are you really gonna go and like, is this going to be your hill to die on over like this little pittance of money? And it's just like nobody like really talked about this for such a long time. The only reason I even bring it up now, it's like Mr. Medicare brought it up, and I'm just like, I remember this. I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't really have a need for some like, quote unquote, free speech app or whatever it was. And I mean, they had the information right out there, like specifically on the page's website, saying that there was like a bot. That was the whole thing with this app. That was like a selling point.
Yeah.
Because like it wasn't just the atheist community. They had some other communities too. Like for the normies, they go and see, there's a bot on here that will take all the trolls away. And then like, I guess they just had their big heads kind of shill for this because the bot probably used like the sort of comments there like, oh, we don't want to have these like anti-SJWs on this. They didn't want to have the anti-SJWs on the, they want to know how to defeat them. So they created the bot that could go and detect these little, like, the words they say, how they say it, what sort of groups they're in. And it's just really scary, too, because it's like all these, like, technology companies, they talk to each other, like look at Alex Jones. He got taken down in, like, one foul swoop. It was from, like, Facebook, YouTube, like, Apple. And like even like what was a Mail Monkey? They all talk to each other.
MailChimp.
MailChimp. I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of that app. But this whole application over here is just like really kind of disturbing that it's gone on for so long, and no one's like really brought up. Like I think everyone who is involved with this needs to they need to answer for it. I've not heard like a single video from like anyone. Maybe Bering. He'd be the only guy who would talk about it, but like none of the big ones. Like I haven't seen Monday Matt really talk about this. Like he mentioned in like one video with Sargon, because he's still under NDAs and the company doesn't even exist. How can an NDA exist for a company that's no longer active? I don't know if it's like personally to the lady who owned it or what. But like no one's talking about it. Like Sargon, why aren't you talking about it? You're supposed to be like the big leader of the liberalist community, but you're not even bringing this up. Like come on, like I used to like you, Sargon, but like when I started looking into this and how you just didn't do anything when there was such a big like major storm going on, you should have said something, because I could have said, like, if I would have actually been involved with like YouTube and stuff at this point, I would have like told people, hey, stay away from this app. There's something good that can come of it. It's like specifically marketed in such a way that has an AI bot on here. Like, just stay away from AIs if you can, people. Like, I don't trust no Amazon, no Google Home. I don't trust any of that. There's nothing good. Like, I can go and turn off I can like flush a toilet. I don't need Google to flush a toilet for me. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to have these AI bots like scanning like everything that we do. And when you know what's going on, or have like, you can kind of see the forest for the trees when you see an app like this and marketed in such a way, you can see their public Facebook page. Like if you're a YouTuber, you need to go and really like pay attention to who you like who you like advertise for. Because like Shoe on Head, she did like 2 of those videos, and then she started like pretty much like lying that oh yeah, I'm not part of this, I'm not like affiliated with these people anymore. And then she like makes another affiliated advertising after that. And then she did like a fluff piece interview with the CEO of Candid. Like that stuff, you know, she needs, like, we need, as a community, we need to go and say that that's not okay, that's not appropriate. We need to go and hold people to account when they like advertise for these companies, and they're just like scamming their own people, they're hurting their own people. Like, you know, it's one thing if you sell like a product and you don't know it's going to be bad, but when you have something like this that's pretty simple to see what they're really doing, like, you need to be held to account for that. And none of these people have. Like, they need to have their feet to the fire right now. Like, it's been years they just kind of stopped talking about it. You know, like, you can look it up, and a lot of these people, they've taken down their like advertisements for it. And you know, that's not okay, that's not good enough. I need to see apologies.
Yeah, they definitely need to apologize. I think Sargon, I love Sargon, like, I'm a big fan, but I think he doesn't want to throw his friends under the bus. Like, he likes these people, but he's like in a catch-22 where he doesn't want to throw them under the bus, but he still wants to call out Candid, so he just does nothing. And I think there are videos of him kind of calling it out. I remember we saw some footage of that.
We had to like look for really hard.
I couldn't find the video, so I don't know where it is or what happened to it. It's just a weird thing. And the reason I say, you know, we're really talking about this now, because like you said, I didn't know about it, so you mentioned it. I remember seeing Candid advertise and went, oh, it's a new chat app. I should try it out. Good thing I didn't. But I am more worried that right-wing free speech, well, not right-wing, I should say free speech, you know, fundamentalists, people that don't like SJWs, are either going to get, you know, susceptible to money, and they're going to, you know, throw out their principles for personal gain and greed, or are they going to become controlled opposition to the left? Because that's the other possibility nobody's talking about here. Could the SJWs have created this company, maybe not with the intention of starting out, but when they got to this position of, hey, we could screw over a lot of people with this? Because that's what comes back to my other theory, is that maybe they didn't know about this feature. I think they did. But let's take a conspiracy turn here. What if they deliberately didn't tell them about the feature? Even though it's on their website, and these people may have fallen for the trap somehow. They stupidly didn't check any of this, you know, stuff out. They just said, okay, can you advertise for Candid? Here's our product features. And they told them all the product features except that bot. And all these people shilled for it in order to make these people look like hypocrites and to burn their credibility. They did all this. I mean, that's the least likely thing, but I'm still, you know, it's still a thought.
Well, I think I saw like there was I don't know if you saw this part of the stream, but like I think was it a Harmful Opinions? He actually got like it was like a script. Like, they were given scripts of what to go and talk about, and one of the things was a robot on there, but the people within this community just chose not to really like highlight that.
Okay.
I mean, they knew what they were doing. It's not like they were just like completely blindsided with this app. Maybe they didn't know it was going to be sold to Amazon or whatever, but still, you gotta really like picture like what's the point of this like free speech chat app that has like a censorship AI.
Yeah.
They mentioned the AI in there. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm allergic to peanuts, so let's go and have this you know, peanut butter swirl ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
It's no, you gotta go and realize that this is really bad. The people over here, either they were just like short-sighted, maybe they just wanted a couple extra dollars, or maybe they didn't think their like fan base would actually follow through with it, or maybe they just
That's stupid.
They just didn't care about it.
I think these, because I think the thing I love about YouTube celebrity, you know, e-celebs as I call them, is that most of them are very genuine. And I think that's why people love them, is they have authenticity. But I'm just concerned about this because they should know that the short-term gain from this would be diminished. It'd be a net loss in the long run. They lose followers, they lose fans, they lose sponsors, they lose subscribers, they lose every bit of credibility left in them because of this. I don't know. It's such a, you know, it is a bizarre thing, because I think a lot of these people are authentic, and I don't understand why they would do this. They were really that greedy then, and they really just don't care about principle.
Yeah, and they're like very, very well. They'll go and trash their own audience members if they don't agree with Candid. Like, who is it? The YouTuber, some black guy, called the like people who
That is his name, by the way.
It's not just some black guy. This is the YouTuber named some black guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah,
but he said that the people who they're basically like Alex Jones if they try to warn you about the bots. Like, this is something that Alex Jones would be right about. This is like turning like the chemicals that turn the frogs gay. This is real.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds like conspiracy, but there was a quote unquote free speech app that was building a bot to stomp out, like free speech supporters. This is like one of the most authoritarian things I'm surprised I didn't hear about. And this is just, it's still coming into place. So you see bots everywhere. Like Twitter has a bot, YouTube has bots, everything has bots now. And this is probably like the great granddaddy of these bots. Because like, just like AI, it works in these really mysterious ways where like it keeps evolving, like generation after generation. And this thing was probably like a huge leap forward for their like censorship technologies. And now I think the next one's probably going to be China. Like Google's coming to China. They're probably going to start like deploying these anti-free speech features
100%.
into China first, and then they'll go and start like slowly trickling them into the West. I think that's what's going to happen. Like maybe different like enemies, you maybe instead of not talking about Tiananmen Square, you can't talk about, I don't know, President Obama in a negative light, just for instance. You'll see stuff like that happen. But this is the app that started it all. And I'm just frankly scared at like how like much of a group mind, sort of like a group think is going on within the quote unquote skeptic community. And why they're like, just a lot of them are a fraud. Like, Sargon, say what you will about him. I'm still not very happy with his decision not to do anything about this. Like, I haven't seen much about, like, the only ones who I really trust, Harmful Opinions was pretty good bearing. He was originally for the app, but then he turned against them. And who was it? Mr. Medicare, because he never really dealt with any of this. He didn't say really anything, but he wasn't really in the skeptic community. It's like, Mr. Medicare's like a bit of a different case.
He's on his own pretty much.
Yeah, like he goes and like does the live streams now with people and gets kicked off of Twitter.
and YouTube for a bit. But I think that Sargon, I don't want to say he did nothing wrong, but it sounds like he wasn't paid by Candid. He didn't show for Candid. It's just he didn't call people out on something that was a clear violation of his principles, which, it definitely, I don't like they did that, but doesn't kill, my support of him, because he actually does do activism for free speech. He actually is, he's not sitting by his computer all day and just shooting around about his opinions and whatnot.
Them SJWs.
Yeah, and then SJWs, as our one fan would say. So it's complicated, but. And then again, this something happened years ago, but we're going to see more of this. This isn't the first time. We're warning you guys now. There's going to be more of this, so be prepared and don't give in to greed. Greed never fails to motivate, and it's, I think this is just a case of greed, and it's depressing that they would go for this. I know that YouTube, because here's the other thing I keep in mind. I'm not defending people on this by any means, but YouTube is demonetizing videos. People aren't getting paid much anymore for this, if they do get monetized. So I think people are getting desperate, and I think Candid was really hopping on that desperation. And because one way, you get money from YouTube videos is through sponsorships. And I understand why people do sponsorships. I generally don't like them, especially for videos like this. But if it's like a Devin Supertramp video where they're, rope swinging and they have a sponsor for it, that's pretty acceptable, because you're just showing their logo and it's not really, and they pay for the video and it doesn't affect it much. But when you're doing stuff that's opinionated and you're making ads showing for something, that crosses a line. And when you have a sponsor, you can't trust a word they say.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, like, the NDAs on those contracts are like still in effect right now. Like, it's still like, what was it, like, for the life of the company in 2 years, and the company got more or less like dissolved in like 2017. But like, who would even like take you to court over that? But like, Monday Matt still refuses to talk on it. All these people still refuse to go and really speak out about it.
Oh yeah, because Monday Matt has now been called as a flagger for flagging people that criticize him.
Yeah, that Monday Matt, like, I don't know what his like channel's gonna be, because he was like originally like the figurehead of Gamergate. Like somehow he was ahead of that movement. I guess he just just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I wouldn't be surprised if he false flagged himself. Like after these revelations, like, maybe Zoe Quinn didn't actually do it and it was really just Mundane Matt.